You know that feeling of oppression, that knot in your stomach, that tightens every time you have to interact with that specific person. That feeling of being drained of energy, manipulated, belittled, or, worse yet, exploited. We all, in the course of our lives, encounter individuals who seem to have an innate talent for complicating our existence, for starting conflicts, for spreading negativity. We label them in various ways, but perhaps the word that best defines them is toxic. But the crucial question is, how to deal with toxic people? Is there perhaps a secret manual, a magic formula, an antidote to this relational poison? What if I revealed to you that not only is it possible to learn effective strategies for how to deal with toxic people, but that you can actually transform these encounters, which now seem like insurmountable obstacles, into precious opportunities for personal growth and inner strengthening? And if you stick around until the end of this story, you will discover not only 7 foolproof ways to deal with toxic people, but also how, by applying these principles consistently and consciously, you can finally regain your emotional balance and serenity. But before continuing, subscribe to the channel and activate notifications to know when we publish new content for your personal growth. The late afternoon sun, filtering through the elaborate leaded windows of the conservatory, created a magical, almost surreal atmosphere. The golden light caressed the rare orchids, lush ferns, and exotic plants that Dr. Evelyn Reed, a renowned psychologist, treated with the same passion and dedication that she reserved for her patients. It was a haven of peace, a refuge from the hustle and bustle of the outside world. Dr. Reed's silver hair was pulled back in an elegant bun, and her eyes, a deep, piercing blue, radiated an almost hypnotic calm, an ancient and reassuring wisdom. Today, sitting across from her in this sanctuary of serenity, there is you. Your posture betrays tension and fatigue, your shoulders hunched under the weight of an invisible burden. Your gaze is dull, marked by sleepless nights and a persistent restlessness, a shadow that obscures your natural brightness. Dr. Reed, I began, my voice cracking with emotion, almost a whisper, I don't know what to do anymore. I feel constantly drained, as if all my life energy is being sucked away. I feel manipulated, used, as if I've completely lost control of my life, my emotions, even my thoughts. Dr. Reed nods slowly, her expression one of deep understanding and genuine empathy. It's not the first time she's heard a story like this, stories of emotional pain, of dysfunctional relationships, of people feeling trapped in a vortex of negativity. I deeply understand you, he says, his voice warm and enveloping like a comforting hug. The people you describe with so much pain are those we commonly call toxic. Of course, this is not a formal clinical diagnosis. You won't find this definition in a psychiatry textbook. But it is a term that effectively, almost viscerally, expresses the negative, sometimes devastating, impact that these individuals can have on our psychological and emotional well-being. They are like real energy vampires who feed on our vitality, our self-esteem, our joy in life, leaving us exhausted and demotivated. You take a deep breath, trying to calm the turmoil inside to find some relief in those words of understanding. That's exactly how I feel, you confirm, in a small voice, as if I were constantly at the mercy of these people, as if I didn't have the strength, the courage to react, to walk away, to protect myself. But what can I do? I can't just eliminate them from my life. Some of them are an integral part of my family, my work environment, my social circle. It doesn't always have to be a permanent breakup, Dr. Reed reassures you with an encouraging, motherly smile. And in many situations, it's not even a practical or realistic solution. What you can do, though, and what is absolutely essential, is to learn to manage them. You can learn to protect yourself, to preserve your life energy, to not get dragged into their abyss of negativity. And even more amazingly, you can even learn to transform these difficult interactions, these toxic relationships, into opportunities for personal growth, into occasions to strengthen your self-esteem, your resilience, your self-awareness. Dr. Reed stands up with a slow and fluid movement and invites you to follow her on a walk in the garden. As you walk among the intoxicating scent of flowers, the delicate murmur of a fountain and the soft chirping of birds, she begins to reveal the secrets, strategies, and tools to deal with toxic people and regain control of your emotional life. These are not tricks or quick fixes, but a journey of awareness and inner change. He begins by explaining the fundamental importance of building an inner fortress, of erecting clear and uncrossable boundaries. Imagine, he says, creating a magnificent castle around your emotional well-being, a castle with high, solid walls, capable of resisting any attack, any attempt at intrusion. These walls are your personal boundaries. You have to decide clearly and unequivocally what you are willing to tolerate and what is absolutely unacceptable. This means learning the sometimes difficult but liberating art of saying no. It means setting time limits on your interactions with these people so you don't feel completely drained of energy. It means not getting caught up in their drama, their incessant complaining, their subtle or overt manipulation. You pause for a moment, absorbing those words like water in the desert. But it's so hard to say no, you admit with a sigh, especially when it's people I love deep down, despite everything. I'm afraid of hurting them, of disappointing them, of creating conflict. I know, Dr. Reed replies, with a look of deep understanding. It's one of the biggest challenges, one of the most common obstacles that people encounter on this journey. But remember this, with absolute clarity. Every time you say no to an unreasonable request, to toxic behavior, to emotional manipulation, you are saying a powerful yes to yourself. You are asserting your value, your dignity, your right to respect. You are consciously choosing to protect your mental and emotional health, your serenity, your inner peace. You are putting yourself first, and this is not selfishness, but an act of love and respect towards yourself. As we continue our walk, Dr. Reed tells you about the crucial importance of assertive communication, your crystal sword. It's not, she emphasizes, about becoming aggressive, attacking, raising your voice, responding to toxicity with more toxicity. On the contrary, assertive communication is the art of expressing your needs, your feelings, your opinions in a clear, direct, respectful, but firm and unequivocal way. Learn to use sentences that begin with I feel, I think, I need. Don't accuse, don't judge, don't point the finger, but express authentically and assertively what you feel, what you think, what you need to feel good. This is your sword, not to hurt, but to defend your space, to affirm your truth. As the sun begins to set, painting the sky in warm golden hues, Dr. Reed introduces you to the concept of emotional detachment, your invisible shield. Imagine, she suggests, that you are wearing a protective shield, an invisible but powerful shield that protects you from the poisoned arrows of criticism, judgment, nasty comments, emotional manipulation. That is emotional detachment. But be careful. This does not mean becoming cold, insensitive, indifferent to the emotions of others. Instead, it means learning not to take the words and actions of toxic people personally. It means understanding, on a deep level, that their behavior is a reflection of who they are, their insecurities, their frustrations, their fears, their unresolved traumas. It is not a reflection of who you are, your value, your dignity. The doctor goes on to emphasize the importance of shifting focus, always focusing on the solution, not the problem. Toxic people, she explains, have an almost unbelievable ability to stay stuck in the problem, constantly fueling the drama, constantly complaining without ever taking a step toward the solution. You, on the other hand, need to be like a lighthouse in the storm, a safe guide. Focus on the possible solutions. Shift the conversation and attention to actively seeking how to overcome the negativity. Arriving in front of a bed of fragrant roses, Dr. Reed dwells on the crucial importance of self-care, your secret garden. This garden, she says, gently caressing a velvety petal, is my refuge, my sacred space, the place where I find peace and balance. Self-care is your secret garden, the place where you can recharge your energies, nourish your soul, find your inner strength, your centering. It can be any activity that makes you feel good, that gives you joy, that allows you to unplug and reconnect with yourself. Reading a good book, listening to your favorite music, taking a long walk in nature, practicing yoga or meditation, dedicating yourself to painting, writing, cooking, anything that helps you find yourself. Cultivate your inner serenity, nourish your soul. Resuming her journey, Dr. Reed emphasizes the importance of not isolating yourself, but of seeking support, of building your safety net. Always remember, she says, with a look of encouragement and love, that you are not alone in this battle. You do not have to go through this alone. Talk to trusted friends, family members who understand and support you unconditionally, or seek the help of a professional, a qualified therapist, who can provide you with the tools, strategies, and emotional support you need to deal with these difficult situations. Having a strong support network, a safety net, is essential to not feel overwhelmed, to have an external and objective perspective, to receive valuable advice and encouragement in moments of despair. Finally, as the sun sets completely and the first stars begin to shine in the sky, Dr. Reed addresses the most delicate and profound theme, that of acceptance and forgiveness, your lotus flower. This, she admits, is perhaps the most difficult step to take, the most demanding, but it is also the most liberating, the one that will allow you to definitively close the chapter and move on with your life. It is about accepting, with serenity and awareness, that you cannot change toxic people, that you cannot control their behavior, that you cannot transform them into people other than who they are. You can, however, radically change the way you react to them. You can choose, with determination and courage, to no longer let yourself be hurt, to no longer let yourself be manipulated, to no longer let yourself be drained of all energy. And finally, you can choose to forgive, but be careful. Forgiving does not mean justifying their toxic behavior. It does not mean forgetting the pain they caused you. It does not necessarily mean reconnecting if this makes you feel bad. Forgiving means, instead, freeing yourself from the oppressive weight of resentment, anger, rancor, all those negative feelings that poison your soul and prevent you from living fully. It means letting go of the past, with all its suffering, and focusing on the present, on your well-being, on your happiness, on your serenity. As the night silently embraces the garden, you feel a new strength, a new hope, a new determination growing within you. Dr. Reed's wise and compassionate words have lit a spark of light in your heart, have dispelled the shadows of fear and insecurity, have opened a path to a more serene and fulfilling future. You know that the path will not always be easy, that there will still be moments of difficulty, of discouragement, of temptation to give up. But now you have the tools necessary to face these challenges, to protect yourself, to cultivate your resilience, to transform toxic relationships into opportunities for personal growth. Thank you, Dr. Reed, you say, with a sincere and grateful smile. I feel like I've found my inner compass again, like I've finally learned how to navigate these rough, sometimes stormy waters of life. I feel stronger, more aware, more confident about the future. Dr. Reed smiles at you, a light of wisdom and benevolence in her eyes. Always remember, she says, with one last important recommendation, your happiness, your inner peace, your emotional well-being is your most precious treasure, your inalienable right. Don't let anyone steal it from you. Don't let anyone dim your light, put out your smile, poison your soul. You are the guardian of your inner garden. Cultivate it with love, protect it with wisdom, and let it bloom in all its beauty. Despite the weather, despite the difficulties, despite the toxic people you will inevitably meet along your path.